The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Hi, I'm Timmy.
And I'm Marijane. He's the newbie.
She's the doobie, and this is the show
where we
tote
cannabis.
Talk.
From both sides.
Is that even possible?
This podcast is for adults only, should not be used as a meal replacement, and may contain nuts.
Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Noobie and the Doobie. My name's Timmy. I am the newbie.
Hi, Marijane, also known as the doobie.
Coming up on today's show,
we've got our word of the week,
as well as a Doober Minute with Martin Franks.
And another one of my favorite segments, cinema reviews.
And then, of course, we'll be ending the show off with a glorious Teaching Timmy segment. The Teaching Timmy segments have been quite interesting along the way. I've learned how to roll a joint. I've learned how to make a bong if I was stuck in the middle of nowhere with a water bottle and a pen.
Yeah.
And weed math.
That's correct.
I have learned.
And you were good at that.
I was very good at that. Math was one of my favorite subjects growing up. Actually, here's an interesting fact. At least it is for me. Maybe not for you. You might have already closed off the YouTube video at this point. But hey, that's up to you. But the reality is that I was great at math. And then in grade 10, somebody said, hey, that boy's really good at math. And they put me up into the really smart kid, the advanced math or something like that. Right? I was so out of place there. Like I liked math and I was okay at math, but like this was a whole other level of like math,
so you, it was like
people.
They said you were a smart kid, but when they put you in the smart class, you realized you weren't as smart as the smart kids?
No, it had nothing to do with smartness. It had everything to do with the fact of these people look like they're going to do math for the rest of their life. And I just happen to be good at math.
Like mathletes?
Yes, like mathletes. Like they could probably have competed in like math. Like let's go to the math. Let's go wait for the.
See,
weekend.
I only knew weed math, so mathletes was like just like something I'd heard about. Yeah. I was never asked to join.
There was myself and there were I think two other guys in my class got put in this thing, and we all felt completely not out of our league that we couldn't do the math, but we were with a different group of people. Like, it's kind of like I wasn't.
Is it like joining the band?
It is. Like, it's kind of like I wasn't.
Not like the cool band. I mean, like the band at school.
I wasn't a cool kid. I was an awkward kid, bowl haircut type of stuff. But something about moving. Actually, I didn't have a bowl haircut in grade 10. I think I had grown out of that. Oh, at that point, I was getting like my Bon Jovi big hair thing. Mm-hmm. But
did you have a mullet?
I would suggest that most of the people in my class were on the geeky side of things. I didn't have okay, what's a mullet? Is a mullet when it's like
business in the front, party at the back?
No, mine was like a fully feathered, just lots of hair. So
it was like a ferret.
But it came down and it winged out. Like it
sounds like just like the hockey look, like the hockey player's hairstyle.
It was just big. It was a lot of hair. Like I'm proud of the fact that I still have hair. Like I've told people that I have no problems going gray. Mm-hmm. I just didn't want to go bald. No offense to the bald people out there. No offense to my father who's bald. But in fact, it's funny. Our producer, director, editor out there, Emilio, just looked in. I think he was going, wait a minute, does he actually have hair? He just peeked in the window there making sure.
Now I'm wondering what's underneath Emilio's hat. Maybe that's why he was looking in.
But but apparently hair comes from your mother's side. So my grandfather on my mom's side had a full head of hair till the day he died. And so whereas my dad's side, all of them are bald. Mm-hmm. So apparently that's proven to be true. So just throwing that out here. Not exactly the way we had planned to start the show, but worthwhile anyways.
Yeah. And nothing to do with what we're celebrating today at all.
No, but when you think about it, today's going to be a little bit of a weird and wonderful road.
It really will be.
But they all are. They're all weird and wonderful. Seriously, if this is your first time checking us out, go back to the beginning because we actually follow some sort of path, at least through word of the week.
We're trying to build something.
Yeah.
You know, like when you build with Lego blocks, we started with 1 block. That's episode 1. We've now, got 22 blocks?
This is our 22nd block.
So, I mean, the 22nd block, you're still going to be looking at something amazingly built amazingly.
Unless you just took 22 blocks and lined them out like around, and then it's just kind of like, oh. That's,
what, like a fence?
Yeah, like I haven't even built anything yet.
It's still awesome because if you look at that, that could be the blueprint for a house.
Well, everything's going to start
or a garage.
Build from there.
Yeah.
There you go. Do you know what today is?
I do know what today is.
What is it?
It's Ants on a Log Day.
Ants on a Log Day.
But, which is funny because I knew what ants on a log were. You did not.
I did not know what ants on a log is, and quite frankly...
you got the same look out of me that you get all the time. You're like, I've never seen that, or I've never heard that song. Rolling down the street, smoking endo, sipping on gin and juice. Do you know the next line?
Baby, baby.
No. Laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. And I was like, I said one line, and he's like, what are you talking about? Oh, it was beep, beep. Who got the keys to the Jeep? Who am I? The gal's damn sugar.
Yeah.
And
I know.
That face.
Yeah. One of the hardest parts of our relationship is the fact that you break into song constantly and then you look to me and throw it to me for the next verse. And I have no clue.
Even if you know the song, you don't know the line.
No.
But those songs, you were like legitimately looking at me and had never heard beep beep. Who got the keys to the Jeep?
I know meep meep from like Roadrunner. That's
and it was Sim Simma. Who got the keys to the Bima?
No, don't have. Wait, to the what? To the Big Bong?
To the Bima.
Oh, to the Bima. No, I don't know. See, I just simply do not know songs. Like,
it's not just songs. You do that with movies. You do that with snacks, like Ants on a Log.
Yeah, but I've never had ants on a log. That's not a...
I thought everybody had ants on a log.
No.
Like, if you went to kindergarten, that was one of the snacks they gave you very frequently at school.
Yeah, well, here, I will literally throw this out. If you have made it this far in this particular video, go down into the comment box right now, and, like, I'll take a poll. We'll take a poll on this. Like, I'll take a poll. Who has had ants on a log? And if you write, what is ants on a log, that answers the question. You haven't.
That's correct.
But we're going to learn what ants on a log. Should we even talk about what it is, or should we wait?
Well, I've already said it's a food. It's a snack. But other than that, let's just...
Okay, we're going to leave
If you're observant, you might be able to see...
Yeah. There's clues. Clues around... Somewhere. So it's Ants on the Log Day, but it did make me think of interesting snack things. Like, did you ever have one of my favorite snacks that all of my friends who came to my house, they were always like, kind of what I did with Ants on a Log.
Okay.
They would have it and they'd be like, we have never heard of that. And it's called banana soup. Ah, there's the look. The eyebrow goes up. I hope we got a good close-up. Do the eyebrow just so you can get the camera on you.
Can't even. Okay.
It was a bowl of milk, as if we're like cats or something.
Okay.
It was a bowl of milk with chopped up bananas.
Okay.
And sugar sprinkled on it.
Okay.
And it was called banana soup. That's my sister and I had that all the time. Did you know you didn't have banana soup?
We generally had berries with bananas.
In a bowl of milk?
It was milk or cereal, but
oh yeah, no, there was no cereal.
No sugar.
Yeah, just sugar, bananas, and milk.
You said banana soup, and I have my stomach turned. I wish you would have said something ahead of time. It was like I had this thing when I was little. My babysitter gave me bananas on toast, and it wasn't just bananas cut on toast. It was bananas spread onto toast. It was this like paste. And
it was like soft banana spread across the
She
toast.
literally took it and put it in a bowl and mushed it up. She must have had like one banana for 2 kids and like tried to stretch it. Yeah, 1 banana, 2 kids, 3 bananas, 4. No, anyways. So I ate it and I thought it was great. But that night, my stomach did not think it was so great. And I ended up like all night in the bathroom. I tell you, when you said banana soup, I'm thinking like some mushy.
No, it was very delicious. I suggest everyone try it.
That's just fruit in a bowl.
Okay,
with
so
milk.
what was your family's like go-to like cool snack? Did you have a snack that your family was kind of like unique to that other kids were like, oh, we haven't had that at our house?
No, God, when I grew up, my mom basically was so busy she gave us everything out of boxes, or like the snacks were freezies or ice cream or like everything came packaged. I actually grew up believing that in order to make a meal, you just read the ingredients or like the instructions on the side of the box because that's what you do.
Okay.
It didn't actually occur to me until I was a lot older that if you wanted soup, like chicken noodle soup, you could go and buy the chicken and get the noodles and make the soup.
Now, mind you, you grew up having cannabis in your house, and I didn't. So I mean, I guess it all everyone's experience is different. But today, I'm going to try, because we believe on this show about trying new things. As a newbie, I'm here to learn new things and experience new things, and even our journey together is about trying new things. And today on today's show, I will try ants on a log. I wish I had thought my brain doesn't think too far ahead. I wish I had considered this because I would have brought some milk and banana and some sugar, and then you could have tried my treat. But we'll do that maybe on another day. So,
Needle and thread.
what's a needle and thread?
You said so.
On a roll. On a roll. On a roll. Let's do your word of the week today, shall we?
All right.
Let's get into this.
Okay.
Word of the week. Now, can I just say,
No.
can I ask you a question? Are we still in extracts and concentrates?
Yes.
Okay. If you haven't been following along, can I test myself right now?
Okay.
5 kinds of cannabis. Would that be 5? How would you describe it?
Forms.
5 forms of cannabis. This is what I've learned since we've been on this show.
I guess 5 categories.
There is flower. You smoke flower. There is tinctures, which I believe you like put in your mouth like a liquid.
I just want to say flour you can also bake with. And
Okay.
turn into concentrates.
And then edibles.
Yeah.
So edibles, tinctures, flour, topicals, which you rub on, and then concentrates / extracts.
Yes. So this one you're going to be really, really excited about because this one crosses over.
Into.
Okay.
All
So it can
right.
be classified as a concentrate.
Yeah.
It could be used as a topical and as a tincture, and you can turn it into an edible.
But not a flower.
It's not a flour. You have to use the flour to get the oil. So
Okay.
our word of the week is oil.
Now, see, I would think oil wouldn't be much a word of the week because it's an oil.
It's an oil.
It's an oil. But I have a feeling that you're going to reveal much more to me than what I'm thinking in my head.
Maybe.
All right, oil.
Okay.
Let's go through this.
So the oil that I'm going to be speaking about is not the cannabis oil that you would find that's that dark, thick, black stuff that people spread onto their papers and smoke. The oil in which I'm talking about
I don't think I've seen that. Do you do that?
I have some, but I don't.
Okay, because I don't think I've seen that. Okay.
No. So the one I'm talking about is the one that's extracted with MCT oil, which is like a coconut oil, the liquid one, or like hemp seed oil, grapeseed oil, that sort of thing. So it's a very liquidy substance. It does not work as fast as smoking or vaping, so you're not going to feel the effects as quickly. But if you take it sublingually, did I say that right?
Subliminally, so you're not
No.
taking it, but you don't know you are.
Under the tongue. sublingually. Lingually.
Lingually?
I can't even do it. Anyways. So when you put it underneath the tongue, it gets absorbed into the mucous membrane and goes directly into the bloodstream. So it's bypassing your stomach. So when you take it under the tongue, it takes effect, what did it say? 15 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
Whereas if you were to eat it, put it into an edible and eat it, or into a capsule, it's going to take 2 to 4 hours.
So the form of cannabis is a time lapse like dispensing system. Like they take longer to work in your body
Because it's going through the bloodstream and not through inhalation. Like
Right.
inhalation happens almost immediately.
Okay.
Here you'll see in this dropper I have some cannabis oil. It's a
Right.
golden, almost like a greeny color.
Sorry, that brought me back to flashbacks to a few episodes ago.
Okay, drip drip. Sorry, that made me think of another song. Typical.
Drip drip.
It's Drip Isha.
Dripisha, is that someone's
Drip,
name?
drip, drip, drip Isha.
I learned more about so many other things other than cannabis on this show as well.
Google Drip Isha.
Dripisha.
You'll
Okay.
thank me. So yeah, it takes less time when you put it sublingually
Yeah.
under the tongue. It's a lot easier to dose when you put it into a tincture bottle like this because you literally can measure the milliliters on the eyedropper. You can then, if you have, you know those gel caps that I purchased and I put baking soda inside?
Yeah.
You can put oil inside them instead. So you can make your own little oil gel caps
Okay.
and just swallow them that way. But they work like an edible.
Right.
So if you infuse your cannabis with a MCT coconut oil or a grapeseed oil and you decide to do some baking, you just substitute the oil in the original recipe with your cannabis oil.
Okay.
And if you find it's too strong, you can even do half cannabis oil, half regular oil.
So that the infused process is just it's just a different type of oil
Exactly.
to bake with.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do it with butter, but that's can of butter. This
How-
is can of oil.
in that dropper, how much?
You're going to ask me a question I don't know the answer to.
Oh, I'm just wondering how much you would put under your tongue. Like, would you take?
Oh, I do know the answer to that. Start low and go slow.
Okay.
It's trial and error. Everybody is different. I will tell you, you can take the whole eyedropper, but if it's too much, you're going to end up with a bad feeling, and you're not going to want to take it again. Whereas if you take a quarter mil of the eyedropper and nothing happens, then you take half a mil next time. If nothing happens, you take 3/4, and then maybe that's too much. Then you
Right.
go back to a half a mil, and you know that that's where you should stay.
Okay, because you talk about that all the time about with things like edibles and stuff like that. You know kind of the dose size that in general you would do.
Well, because legal edibles only come in 10 milligram per package doses, it makes it a lot easier to experiment with finding what your dose is.
Right.
And there are different types of edibles. Like I know I'll just talk about spinach has 2 different types of gummies that I've been eating. One is a blue sour, blue raspberry, watermelon something, but it's like a higher THC, where the other one is a 1-to-1, so it's equivalent THC to CBD, so it's not as intense. I like that one for daytime, and then I eat the THC one closer to bed. I find it helps me sleep.
Okay. Cool. All right. So oil is literally the, what do you call it? It's kind of like
It's versatile.
yeah, it's versatile. It can go and do in almost anything. And I assume, correct me if I'm wrong. Well, actually, I don't even know. Could you, if you wanted to, because we have talked about how you can take crumble and crumble it on top of your weed and like while you're rolling a joint. Could you drop a couple things of oil on the weed when you're rolling?
No,
So
not
you would
with
never
this.
you would never blend the oil with the actual.
No,
Okay.
not this oil.
All right.
The dark brown, the
Right,
tarry,
okay.
resiny stuff,
Yeah.
that you would. But that's a different type of oil.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Oil. See, who knew? See, I would have thought the word oil. It's like, yeah, I know what oil is.
Oh, fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
Oil is also synonymous with the day 710.
Right. Yes.
I know I told you this. Do you remember why?
Oh, I do know why. Okay, so 420 is synonymous with weed smoking.
Mm-hmm.
We actually talked about the reason why 420 on our previous podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And 710, which is July 10th,
Mm-hmm.
is because if you flip 710 upside down,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like oil.
Yes. I always say, if you look at a digital clock,
Mm-hmm.
the 710,
Yeah.
and you flip it,
Yeah.
it
reads
exactly
oil.
looks like oil.
Just like 8008 says boob.
Or 80087355.
Boobless?
Yes.
Guess it depends on your high school experience. I used to think, remember back in the day, life was so easy back then in some ways, where it's just like we were so amused by simple things. Like remember, like you would sit there.
There was a whole calculation. There
On a
was this girl
calculator,
who was 16. She had this boobs. She wanted this, so she went to the doctor 3 times. Then and this is what she was. And you flip it upside down. It says boobless. You're like, how? Who figured that out? Who sat there and created a story that said, if you take this number and this number and this number and do this and this and this, it comes with this.
You know who figured it out?
Don't
Stoners.
even know it. I want to know who did that.
It was a stoner. You guys.
I wonder how old that is. That was around
But you're right though.
time.
How do you even come up with that? Like, what are you doing at home where you're just like?
That's
I don't wanna make that.
that's like ants on a log. Okay, honestly,
Like who decided?
because I asked my friends, and 2 of them is so funny because there's three of them and me, 4 of us. The friend with 4 heads.
The friend with 4 heads. Yes.
So one of them, their internet connection cut out, and then it's just the 2 of them and me, and I'm talking about ants on a log, ants on a log. Ants on a log. Come on, you gotta know. They're both staring at me like I'm from a complete other planet. So I explained to them what it is, and then my other friend comes on, and I said, "Ants on a log." She's like, "Oh yeah." Blah, 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 blah. And she tells me all about it. I was like, "Oh, where were you like 5 minutes ago?"
Right.
She's like, "My internet cut out."
So only 2 of the 4 heads are on the same page. That makes it very difficult.
Well,
Let's bring in, as much as I would like to keep talking about your friends.
the 4-headed.
Although I would like to find out more. I bet you go online and find more of those calculator kind of things. Those are kind of funny. There was another one. There was a couple others. But that was the thing. Back then, you could just do that, and you were completely and utterly amused. But then I shouldn't say back then, because right now, when I go home, I'm going to Google it, because I'll be
You
pretty
figure out
amused.
how to do it.
I'll
You're
be
gonna
amused.
don't teach my children.
I won't. Let's connect with our good friend Martin Franks.
Yes.
For those,
It's time for Duber Minute.
It's time for our Duber Minute. For those of you who have been watching us for a while now, we have invited our friend Martin Franks, who is a cannabis-consuming Uber driver from SoCal, I think they call it. Is that what they call Southern California?
Sure.
I think that's what they do. I'm trying to be on the cool side. And we had, again, just to reiterate the story, we went down there for a comedy competition, got off the plane, called an Uber. It was Martin Franks. Little did we know that he was not only going to hook up MJ with her first weed down there in the States, but he was actually competing in the same comedy challenge that I was in, because the challenge was like all ranges of, it didn't matter your background in comedy, how long you've been doing it. It just had to be clean. That's what the rules were. And Martin
Clean.
Martin was
like your comedy had to be clean, not because there was a couple of them there that didn't really look all that clean.
well, I don't.
You're like, yeah, I didn't say I'm not going there.
I didn't say that. Anyways, Martin Franks made us laugh in that Uber, and so we decided that we would start this Duber Minute and invite him to come on the show and pretty much just share whatever's on his mind. So, ladies and gentlemen, Martin Franks with another episode of the Doober Minute.
Hey guys, what's happening? Wanted to share something real quick. It's no secret. I'm a fan of the donut, of all donuts. In fact, I'm wearing my donut shirt, coincidentally, today. And I'm passing a couple of my favorite donut joints along this road right here. But I'm a fan, I love the donut. And I think it's kind of a universal thing. I mean, who doesn't love a donut, and why not? It's something that can bring people together, the donut. It's like, it's not for the elite, only. It's not uppity, it's not snobby. It's a donut, man. It's something everybody can enjoy. Everybody can come together and enjoy a donut, and a coffee or something. And I just think, man, it's sort of a philosophy of mine. And I don't just order a donut. I get to know the server. It's like, any of these places, like, hey, Randy, how you doing, man? Yeah, give me chocolate glaze, right? Or, Enrique, Doris, how you doing? Yeah, give me a 6. I'll share them with some of my buds, okay? Make it 12, make it a dozen, So I think that's what it's all about. Coming together over a donut. You guys should try it there, or maybe you have. If you haven't, I recommend it. Try it. Share it. Donut it. All right. That's it for right now. Catch you later.
Well, I guess you got a lot of free time driving Uber.
Well, the interesting thing about the donut is it's also a circle. You know what else is a circle? Friendship.
That's so true. Hey, you actually had a donut.
I did.
That had the hole still in
right.
the donut.
I did.
That was only a couple days ago or whatever. It was a donut.
I have a sore spot for that. That's the day I lost my ring. And that's the video that I know I lost my ring because I was like, look at this donut. It still has the hole. And it was a honey dip. It's not supposed to have the hole.
No. Well, no donut should.
Well, yeah.
Which donut should have?
The strawberry cream filled.
Oh, the cream filled ones. Yeah.
The Boston cream.
Yeah, I don't see. That's the okay. What at this
Although
point?
They don't have the hole because they're filled.
At that point, are they a donut? Like, what makes it a donut? Can you even call? I know people call them.
Why
donuts.
do we call them donuts? They're not in a knot. That would be a pretzel,
right? So if the hole is not there, then it's not a donut anymore.
See, this is what Martin needs. We need to go for a ride with him again.
Right.
Because we could have just...
Because this is where that conversation would have continued.
Right.
I agree with him wholeheartedly that donuts bring people together. I agree with him wholeheartedly that it's about
We're Canadian.
Community.
We love the donut.
It's about community, right? We're about to be brought together again here over a nice, wonderful snack.
Yay.
Right?
Is it snack time yet?
Not yet.
Oh.
But any snack can bring people together.
It's cinema review time.
It's cinema review.
Now, I love it.
What's cool is I think Martin should also be he should be like a Doober, the Doober driver, as well as maybe run a psychic shop on the side, because he's talking about donuts and we're talking about infusing foods.
Is that what your cinema review is?
My cinema review is about a movie where infusing foods. Maybe went wrong.
Foods, yes. Oh,
right.
I know what movie it is now. I was sitting here going, "What movie is it?" Movie?
Catch everybody up to speed. MJ has been sitting me down to watch. What's it? Stoner flicks, and she's been wanting. And I've seen some before. Very few. I have though. And all the way along the way, there's some gems. There's some horrible ones. Look back on a couple episodes ago, and you'll find out about one of the ones that I couldn't do. I sat through it because I wanted to do the review.
All 86 minutes.
All 86 minutes of that interesting affair. What today's, though, is a diametrically opposed viewpoint.
Diametrically. Diametaceous, eh?
It's a diametaceous.
Diatomaceous.
Yes, that's dirt. Poisonous dirt. By the way, a couple episodes ago, we had poisonous dirt in here. It's true. Diatomaceous.
Yes.
We literally almost died for this show. Anyways, so Martin talks about donuts. And I'm going to talk about a movie that highlighted brownies. And brownies that were infused and went horribly wrong. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Timmy's cinema review. S-I-N. Cinema. Because when I grew up, these would be considered movies about the devil's lettuce. Scary, eh? Scary when you say it like that.
It was scary when you looked at me like that.
Right? Here we go. The movie I will be reviewing today on Timmy's Cinema Review is called Smiley Face. Smiley Face was 2007 it came out, and I had never heard of this before. You sat me down to watch it, and I am thrilled that you did. So here we go. COVID-19 has revealed many truths about our world. Germs are surprisingly real. Masks aren't the security risk that banks led us to believe. And it's literally impossible to watch the entire Netflix catalog. Many have tried, and all have failed. During this intensely isolated time, the need to connect with real people doing real things has led to an explosion of true-to-life documentaries. The bottomless pit of gripping entertainment blended together with my voyeuristic tendencies and an ungodly amount of free time have combined to create a mind now equipped with everything needed to excel in our upcoming post-apocalyptic world. Apocalyptic. I am now aware that feeding people to tigers is super effective, and that I should never trust the brownies. Or if you do, don't eat Steve's brownies. Of all the documentaries about why not to use weed, 2007's Smiley Face is probably the best of the batch. Pun absolutely intended. Not officially a doc, but I'm sure they nailed the too many brownies experience. Some might ask, Timmy, as a non-consumer, how would you know? Well, let's just say that the sheer number of knowing nods and agreeing sounds coming from MJ throughout the movie gives me a high level of confidence in the truth of the too many brownies experience. Anyways, let's discuss some specifics. Spoiler alert, Jane eats Steve's brownies. It doesn't end well. Or does it? In this case, I don't think it really matters how it ends. After all, the joy is in the journey, not the destination. And Smiley Face doubles down on that truth. In real life, I'm pretty sure I would lose my mind spending 85 minutes with someone experiencing such a non-functional high of that magnitude. Yet, somehow, watching Jane journey down a technicolor rainbow of misadventures, misguidance, and missteps was absolutely captivating, mesmerizing, and downright entertaining. There are many examples of movies and TV shows which take you on an all-nighter or even a 24-hour real-time experience. I'm here to tell you that Smiley Face is one of the best single-day cinematic experiences you're ever going to find. Non-consumers, listen to me. Don't be fooled. Do not judge this book by its cover. Any way you slice it, directing, writing, cinematography, acting, this movie is genius art that just happens to be presented as a stoner flick. Think Napoleon Dynamite, but on weed. And finally, this review would be severely lacking if I didn't take a moment to address the lead actress, Anna Faris. I say lead actress instead of star because, small role or not, when your cast includes the timeless and legendary Mrs. Cunningham from Happy Days, there can only be one star. But as for Anna, yes, Smiley Face might have turned me off edibles, or at least Steve's edibles. But it turned me on to Anna Faris. Her portrayal of the stereotypical stoner is both spot on, yet very unique, proving that she is indeed brilliantly funny and creative. She also revealed some strong acting chops in playing a very difficult character with such consistent believability. This leads me to conclude Anna is either highly underrated as a performer, or she was high as a kite while filming. Regardless, if you're a stoner or not a stoner, Smiley Face will put a smiley on your face. I give Smiley Face 4 out of 5 joints. So far, the highest amount of joints that I have offered any film during my cinema reviews. It is a must-watch.
Very nice. It was a good movie.
It was a great movie. And I wasn't sure what to expect. It's a very, very, like I think I got the vibe right with the Napoleon Dynamite. Really, really kind of quirky and off. Mm-hmm. I still don't really understand the whole what exactly happened through it, but everything about it, I thought it was a genius movie. I really, really enjoyed it.
I'm just gonna say one part. My favorite is when she's standing, she's trying to make weed butter, and the phone's ringing, and she's got the phone, and she's like, on the phone, man, talking on the phone. No,
man.
You don't understand. Meanwhile, like, it's burning away in the back, and like she's like, shut up, yelling at the smoke detector, shut up. Yeah, it's funny, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I recommend Smiley Face.
Yeah.
And right now it leads the pack in my cinema reviews. 4 out of 5 joints. I can't give a 5 out yet because I'm afraid I'm going to come across a true 5, and then I might have to take back my 5 out of 5 on Smiley Face. So I'm leaving it at a 4 right now. We'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. I think someone just got shot out there.
I don't know what that was.
I hope Emilio's fine. Oh, yep.
Okay, we got the thumbs up.
He's either waving or he was calling for help. We saw a hand go up.
Okay.
We don't actually know.
Was his shirt always red?
Yeah.
Okay.
How about this?
That's not blood?
Let's finish the podcast.
Okay.
Because we got to make sure we get it done, and then we'll go check on him.
Okay.
That seems like a reasonable
All
plan.
right. So we should get to teaching Timmy then.
Let's do teaching Timmy, and then we'll go make sure that it wasn't our producer that got shot out.
Okay. All right. So ants on a log.
Ants on a log
is a snack.
Right.
It's celery.
Celery. Okay.
With peanut butter.
Now, see, right away, I do not see those as compatible.
Yeah,
ingredients.
and let's throw some raisins.
Nobody likes raisins.
And this is what my friend said. One of them, she's like, "Who sat down and said, yeah, I'm gonna take some celery and some peanut butter and some raisins."
You tell me, seriously, you tell me how in the world these 3 things ever got put together. Does that not look like a completely...
I know. So basically...
But you've eaten it though, right?
I have. So basically this is your log.
That's the log.
This is your log.
Okay.
You're going to take the peanut butter and you're going to apply it in the crack of the log.
All right. Well, I got my own over here.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we only have one knife.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna just right now. So feel free at home. Pause this video. Get yourself some raisins because we know everybody's got raisins in their cupboard.
Yeah.
I
was actually disappointed because I couldn't find my raisins and I had to buy that bag. And I know damn well that I bought a bag months ago to make raisin bran muffins. Mm-hmm. And they probably went bad because I didn't use them. And now I got to buy another bag and they're going to go bad in my cupboard too.
Let me give a shout out right now to Paradise Tarts because they make the most amazing tarts, like butter tarts.
Oh, so you're saying I could give them my raisins?
Yeah, they probably use your raisins. But the reason why I brought it up was because I was sitting there thinking, man, who likes raisins? And I mentioned that to somebody who really likes the tarts that Paradise Tarts makes. Mm-hmm. And they were like, "Oh, you need raisins in butter tarts." And I'm like, "No, you don't."
I kind of agree with that. In a butter tart, you need raisins.
Really?
Yeah. Just like rice pudding, you need raisins.
Oh, see, that's I've never really eaten rice pudding.
I know, you said that the other day, and I was like, see, another thing you say you've never had that,
But
never heard that, never seen that.
But I'm going to try.
I love it.
You know how much stuff I've tried over the last couple of years? It's been amazing.
I know.
And I'm going to try this. I can't remember the last time I ate celery. I have peanut butter all the time, and I haven't eaten raisins forever. So, okay, so if you're at home right now, and we're going to infuse one as well, right?
I'm gonna show how to infuse one.
Yeah, so she's going to infuse hers. But so how much do you put on? Like, does it matter?
That's a personal preference.
Okay, so I can't remember the last time I had celery. So take your celery stick.
Some people like to do this with Cheese Whiz. Not raisins and Cheese Whiz, but
Really? Do you think Cheese Whiz is actual cheese?
no.
Is that like false advertising?
No, it says cheese product.
No, that's true too.
Did you know that Parlor doesn't sell ice cream?
What do they sell? Ice cream product?
Frozen dessert?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, if anybody has Parlor at your house, go and take it out of the freezer and look at it.
Okay, I'm going to make one right now. Do you want to make one?
Yeah, I'm going to show people how I would infuse this because
So you got to hold it up.
this way.
Oh, that camera will get it?
Yep.
I'll open the raisins while you're doing that.
So I'm going to make sure that my my crack is filled.
Jeez.
What?
Nothing.
Why you got to go all dirty? But I'm going to leave a space in the middle
Okay.
because, you know.
Oh my goodness, you're like actually like you're taking your time with that. I don't think I was
What?
nearly as.
No, which is funny because you don't like a mess.
No.
So it's sealed on this side. It's sealed on this side.
Okay.
I'm going to use this guy. No. You got to go the other way.
Okay. So how do you know how much oil to put in there to be like do you know how much THC is in, say, one drop of oil? Like, how would you know how much to put in
You're
there?
asking the person who doesn't do math. That's why I said low and slow.
Okay. So
Start with the smallest
the
amount.
smallest amount.
So you can measure
I've never
it
had
out.
an edible, right? I've never had anything that's been infused.
So this is just under 1/4 mil.
Okay.
And you would just drip it right inside. Now you can use all of that. You can use as little as you want. I used it all. Alternatively, you can literally just take it, drop it in your mouth, and eat
Okay.
the
So
item you want.
a question about infusing then.
Yes.
So let's say for example, so this is something that I have sort of learned because we've talked a lot about. We were at a party, so we went down to this one event, and there was infused food and non-infused food,
Yes.
which are always very interesting. Just non-stoners and other newbies out there, just realize if you go to a party, no longer just assume that what's on the table
that you can eat it. Yeah.
But we've talked about the dosing thing of going, okay, somebody makes a batch of brownies.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes very difficult to know whether or not each brownie
Mm-hmm.
has the same amount because you make this giant batch and depending on how you pour it out. So what would you say to people when they're infusing food in terms of making sure that you maintain that balance so that it's not a crapshoot? Is there a way to do that? Like if you were to make a bunch of these for an event, it would just be just measure.
So the best way to ensure that each piece has its own thing would be literally to infuse each piece separately.
It's pretty much you couldn't do it on a large batch because you.
I'm not good like that. I don't even know what's in my own oil.
Right,
if I
yeah,
were
yeah.
to make something like when I make bath salts for other people, I purchase the oil from the legal dispensary, and then I use that oil because I can actually measure it and I know what I'm giving.
Okay.
because I don't know what it is,
yeah.
and I like to be able to give people facts. So I'm gonna sit here and say I don't know the answer to that, Timmy.
Okay. No, fair enough. No, because I find it interesting because you've been so so the few times that I smoked weed, when people talk to me about those experiences, you are so very, very quick, and you just like, he had this much, like THC and stuff like that. And I'm assuming then, based on what you're saying here, that the edible process though isn't nearly as exact, or it can be exact if it's done right. Like you could sit there and say,
Well, if it's done right, 100%,
Yeah.
which is why I leave the
edibles to the other
yeah
people.
to people like the stoner chef.
Yeah.
Ask him.
Yeah.
He'd probably be able to tell you exactly how to measure it out, how to dose it,
Yeah.
because he does from seed to plate. So he does like from everything. He gets the plant tested. He knows the THC percentage. Like if you get a plant that you grow and you don't know what the THC percentage is when you harvest that plant, you don't even know what you're starting with to make the oil.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I don't know. I don't know that.
We know that in Smiley Face, Anna Faris saw a couple brownies and ate way too many.
We'll see, even 1 or 2 could be too many if people are making their own homemade goods. Like, I know you all have that one friend that makes some fucking killer edibles that'll knock you on your ass. And I don't know what they're doing. And I apparently tend to be that friend to a lot of my other friends. And I'm sorry if you've had some of my edibles and been knocked on your ass, because that's not what I want to do to people. And I don't think it's a good... Like, if you're not expecting it, it's not a good feeling.
Yeah, and I think...
as Anna Faris showed in that movie, is like, she didn't think they were weed brownies. Never did her roommate Steve show any, like, signs of being a stoner.
And we've also talked about the fact of, like, some people... we've talked about people who trick people into, like, it's like they think it's funny that they slip them a weed brownie when they think it's a regular, like,
oh yeah,
like that type of stuff.
I think it would be funny. Okay, like, I've always wanted to do this, but I haven't, because there's an ethical part of it.
Ethics, blah blah.
But like Russian roulette, except I wanted to call it weed roulette. I might one day and just tell everybody who's coming, look, one of those brownies is infused.
Right.
One of them, you're gonna get fucked up. But I thought it would be cool, like, to like just infuse one of them and see like who's gonna get it.
Okay.
Who's gonna be the one to get it?
I think if it's completely on the level, like everybody
Right?
knows
I
it's
just
there.
wouldn't want somebody to get this like, why do I feel funny?
Right.
What's wrong with
Put
me?
it out on the level. Everybody in there knows what's happening. And then,
See, I used to hang out with some not so nice people back in the day, and like we did chemicals in drugs and like things that would make you see shit. and when somebody would say, like, well, what would you do if anybody ever, like, what if they threw an E in your drink or whatever at the bar? And I'd be like, I'd be fucking pissed, because I want to know what I'm taking. Most of the time at that age, you just give it to me, and I'd probably be like, okay, pink butterfly. What's it do?
right.
But I don't want to. Like, I don't want to take something if I don't know I'm taking it, and I wouldn't ever do anything like that to somebody else.
Yeah, no, I know. I know you wouldn't. You've been, and because
It's like the big dabs when they give you the big slabs of concentrates in the dab rig, knowing damn well you're not a dabber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's one thing that I've really appreciated as a newbie. I've really appreciated you're very conscientious, and I know you're very big on that, and you try to encourage others, because not everyone is apparently. So I appreciate how conscientious you are, and I appreciate when you come out and flat out say, look, I don't know how much I put in there, like, and like, who knows what's in there now? You don't know how much is in there now, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
So I'm not going to eat that.
I actually don't. I don't want to eat. I don't know if you've noticed, if the viewers have watched enough episodes, but I don't think I've stuck anything in my mouth.
No.
You've eaten the donuts.
You don't smoke on the show.
No, I try.
Yeah.
I try and keep it professional. I mean, we're doing a job here. We're teaching people.
So we want to finish these off so we can try these.
Yes.
So I'm assuming.
So put on the ants.
So we got to put the ants on the log.
Yeah.
The ants come marching. I'm gonna have to get a nice picture of these. Do you have a phone?
You have lots of ants on there. You like raisins, eh?
No, I don't.
That's good. That's good then.
No, I want to have some ants.
Oh my. Okay.
Do you want some on yours?
I will.
So just for the there's my ants marching 2 by 2, 1 by 1, and then.
They look like they're marching 4 by 4.
So I'm gonna eat mine, even though you won't eat yours. I have a question about the infusing process.
Okie dokie.
As we get ready to wrap this up, and we'll eat these wonderful treats that I've never had before. Is there a reason why you left a gap and just poured it in the middle, as opposed to running it across the top or running it, like running it down?
Because it's oil.
Okay.
It's very viscous.
Oh, geez. What's viscous?
Runny.
Okay. All right.
It's the viscosity. It has to do with the viscosity of the oil.
Now, are you afraid that your raisin's going to get high?
Oh my God! Is that how they made the California raisins?
No.
Do you remember them?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, they used to sing.
Yeah.
What's the song?
See, why do you think I like them?
Okay, so I've never had this before. Shall we?
Yeah, have at her. Honestly, I just want to say that looking back at this, I'm like, yeah, if you were to try and bite that, it would all over the place. Just do your dose directly from the tincture bottle into your mouth and swallow it. It's pretty much the same.
Or maybe mix it up into a peanut, like
you could mix it with the peanut butter.
Mix it in the peanut butter, right?
Yeah.
And then you could just spread it on whenever you were.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So have an infused thing of peanut butter. Okay, here we go.
Well, see, you could turn this into salad dressing if you wanted. Into a vinaigrette.
That's what
you
the
could
oil
fry
thing
your
is.
eggs into it. You can, when I do the potatoes all chopped up with the oil and the seasonings, you could use that oil instead of cooking
it's
oil.
endless, right? You would talk to me.
Any recipe.
Okay, I'm going to take a bite into this, and then I'm going to say something.
That's a great order of doing things.
But here's the But here's the thing. It's much more entertaining if I eat first.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying new foods. Up until I was in my late 20s, I was still just a meatballs, mashed potatoes, peas, corn type of person, right? And but now I go, but I trust the person who cooked it. So if it may not look kind of cool, but I'm gonna eat it because I'm sure they know it. But I don't trust the person who made this. I know I put it together, but the first person who said, "Yeah, put these 3 things together," I don't know if they knew what they were doing. So here we go.
I wonder if Emilio has my phone there. There we go. I love the face.
I'm sorry.
What, you don't like the crunchy and the watery texture with the chewy raisins and the peanut butter?
Do not lie to me. There is not a child in the world that would like this snack.
Yep.
No.
Legitimately.
No.
Yep. They gave us that when we were young. That's what they said our snack was. And some people love them. Other people don't. That's real crunchy, isn't it? I was never really a fan of celery, just for the... You know what I'm going to say, aren't you?
That's horrendous.
The strings.
That is so not a good snack.
These things.
If I was doing a cinema review, 1 out of 5 joints.
See, and this is why I don't like celery.
If you're going to infuse something good. This is the question I wanted to ask.
Okay.
By the way, let me just say this. Don't eat ants on a log. Horrible.
No, I like it, so I say try it.
Okay, well, you can have mine later. We'll figure it off the air here. But let me. I do want to ask you this, and this will be the last thing that we say before we go. You asked me about which foods I would like to infuse, because at some point you want me to try an edible.
Yeah, I need recipes.
Yeah. And I threw back to you and said, well, it really doesn't matter because infusing food doesn't affect
the flavor.
Yeah, if I infuse a hot dog, or infuse an
Which is funny
ice
because-
cream, it's going to taste like a hot dog and ice cream.
Which is funny because being high changes the flavor of things, as we discussed before.
Okay, so
but not while you're eating it. Like you have
Right.
to be high prior to eating it.
Right. So it really doesn't matter what I infuse.
It's just a recipe that you like, that you enjoy.
Yeah, so just take your favorite. Okay, so
Which-
I wanted to point that out because if you are a newbie, to sit there and saying it doesn't add anything to the food experience. So
Well, it changes the flavor, but not for the better. Like most of the time, it just tastes like weed. You have to find the recipes that cover the flavor of weed. So
Okay.
that's why most people
All
do
right.
brownies, because the chocolate covers the flavor.
Okay,
If I can make a suggestion,
that's where I wanted to go with this.
if you like peanut butter, you're not allergic, try, what is that? I want to call them church windows. but no.
Is that another weird snack?
Rainbow marshmallows with butterscotch chips and peanut butter. I think they're called church windows, or space bars if they're infused.
I like those marshmallows.
Yeah, the rainbow ones. The peanut butter and the butterscotch will cover the flavor of cannabis. And if you make a MCT coconut oil, you can try Rice Krispie squares.
Okay.
They taste like coconutty. They're really good.
Okay. Interesting. Well, let's wrap this thing up. I do not recommend this snack, but you know that I don't like to leave food just lying around.
Can you take the last bite on the way out so the last thing they remember is your face after you take a bite?
Okay.
Like, can we do our sign off first?
Yeah.
We'll cheers with our celery.
And then I'm going to jam the whole thing in.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, I want to finish it.
You do things in threes. That's 3 bites, sir.
Okay. Well, let me take one bite here.
No.
Okay. Okay. Don't cut us off the air. Don't cut us off the air until I have finished this. Okay. Here
Oh,
we
you're
go.
actually going to finish the whole thing?
Yeah, I'm going to finish it. But afterwards. Okay, ready?
Do I need to be here for this?
Yeah. That was a good episode. Thank you. Infusing. I will say this. I think you've mentioned this before. I probably will never smoke again.
Mm-hmm.
But the infusing process is actually very intriguing to me. And I assume at some point I will try something that's infused. Not that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll tell you this. If I'm going to eat something and try something infused, it will not be celery, peanut butter, and raisins. It will be something really, really good. That's how I'll experience it for the first time.
All right.
Because if I have it with this, I'm going to be like, I'm not eating infused food. But really, it had nothing to do with the infusing. It had everything to do with the fact that this is a horrible, horrible mistake. Here we go.
All right.
I'm Timmy Boyle.
Mary Jane Baker. Stay lifted.
And keep on laughing. Cheers. I'm not looking forward to this. Hi, I'm Timmy.
And I'm Mary Jane. He's the newbie,
She's the doobie, and this is the show
where
we
tote cannabis
talk.
from both sides.
Is that even possible?